ground again, and what you're looking at there is a violent, rapidly rotating tornado, estimated width there about an eighth to maybe a quarter of a mile wide. And again, winds in there.
Yo, that shit just grew while they've been recording.
We have winds flowing into the tornado right now at about...
Within just a couple of seconds, the wispy tendrils conglomerate into a massive and violent wedge tornado.
YouTube, we back with another video. It's your boy, the one, J. Osh. Welcome back to the show. We on a tornado rampage. You feel me? We got the Bridge Creek tornado, the strongest tornado ever recorded. That's what the title say. Don't get mad at me. But shout out to Tornado TRX, man. We're going to get into this reaction, man. Bridge Creek, 1999. Now, I know some of y'all watching this video, some of y'all probably ain't even born in 1999. Some of y'all born after 2000. Alright? Which makes me feel old. Okay? Anytime I see somebody born after 2000, it trips me out. But, anyways, we're going to get into this Bridge Creek tornado, man. These tornado videos, man, it's just... they're fascinating, but it's also to the point where it's like, damn, bro, like... all the death that happens and the destruction and people, like, lives change. Like, the destruction that it causes, just everybody's lives just turn... it just turns everything upside down, man. Like, and I know I seen I think I seen some in the comment section with one of the tornado videos in Oklahoma, and they were saying it's crazy how either Moore in OKC, like Oklahoma City, they don't have like public storm shelters, which is kind of crazy due to the activity of tornadoes. But I guess I don't know if there's been a tornado that's hit Oklahoma City, like, straight up. But, yeah, it's kind of crazy. They don't have storm shelters for a place that's called Tornado Alley for the public. But, hey, you know. So we're going to check out Bridge Creek, you know what I'm saying? As always, shout out to Tornado TRX. Link going to be in the description below. You know, we give all credit to the people that make the videos. We just reacting. Alright, you know what I'm saying? Let's get it.
1999, and reporter Dan Anderson is sitting in Moore, Oklahoma.
Real quick, too. Oh, this is the fucking tornado that went through Moore, Oklahoma? Or he just sitting at Moore, Oklahoma? Because I remember they was talking about Moore. Moore had more than like 4 tornadoes hit that bitch. Which is crazy. But, okay, I wanted to say, but like TRX has a great like narrating voice. Like him making a video and just narrating the story through. It's pretty spot on. I'm surprised ain't nobody like a TV company actually signed this man to do actual like, you know, actual videos or like stuff on TV.
He is filming the strongest tornado ever recorded. Consumed.
He's really good with his like pace of words and just pacing himself through stuff and just the sentences.
City in front of him.
Oh my God.
And he's good at like innating a feeling with his words, but like how calm he is and how he delivers it, that's crazy.
It's 1999, and it's been 6 years since the state of Oklahoma had seen a single violent tornado. Despite
6
being
years,
the tornado
so
capital of the world, areas such as Canada and Massachusetts had seen much stronger tornadoes in leading years. While
Massachusetts? Y'all get tornadoes? Really? Massachusetts get tornadoes? Y'all all the way up north, ain't y'all? Huh. Last F4, 1993, Catoosa, Oklahoma.
While some saw this as good news,
look at that.
Others knew the potential Oklahoma had, and that the good luck would run out eventually. May is peak season for tornadoes in Oklahoma, and even though the state had
May,
been
June,
on a good
July
luck streak, forecasters at the National Weather Service, coincidentally
May to August,
in Oklahoma,
like
were still on high alert. And the first week of May looked like nothing out of the ordinary. A strong low-pressure system stretched across the western edge of the United States, but this system actually seemed like a bust for tornadoes. Forecasters rely on weather models, which are mathematical predictions of the future, to make predictions themselves, and the models really showed nothing special occurring. Essentially, From the computer's perspective, Oklahoma seems to have lucked out once again. May 3rd, 1999. It's a typical Monday in the plains. The massive metroplex of Oklahoma City wakes up to begin the day, and if anything, it feels like the opposite of a tornado day. Instead of a hot, muggy morning with little clouds and tons of warnings, a brisk breeze underneath a calm blanket of clouds greeted residents. Up in the atmosphere, though, things were far from calm. The trough was almost secretly strengthening.
And so it begins. Yeah, everything was calm and cool collected yesterday, but now today they want to fuck shit up.
Above, this strength was rapidly shoving warm, moist air from miles away into central Oklahoma.
Oof.
Comparing the models to what was actually happening this morning, the forecasters realized something. Essentially, every computer model had excessive errors, underpredicting ingredients tornado outbreaks thrive on, the very ingredients that were rapidly coming together. Hope of a normal Monday continued to dwindle. The clouds above were slowly peeling back, and by early afternoon, the atmosphere was quite literally a loaded gun, ready to be fired. I want to take a brief moment to thank the sponsor of today's video, NordVPN.
Shout out
In
to
today's digital
NordVPN,
age,
shout out to
online
TRX getting
privacy
his money.
and security
Oh my
via
lord.
Chrome Network, Threat Protection Pro, that
pressed
actively
the wrong
blocks
thing.
malware, intrusive ads, and more, providing an additional layer of security for your device. So much anything. VPN tornado potential disaster about to unfold. The National Weather Service 349. Realizing the potential disaster about to unfold, the National Weather Service upgraded their thunderstorm outlook to a high risk across the
Oh.
majority of Oklahoma. At 4 o'clock, just 10 minutes after upgrading the risk, meteorologists noticed tiny specks on radar near the Texas and Oklahoma border. The small showers were moving to the northeast.
So it's a storm that just popped up, so that's all it needs, huh?
Relatively slow, 25 miles per hour. One of the specks near Lawton, Oklahoma, was starting to get bigger. And even though it had developed just 30 minutes prior, rotation was beginning to occur within the storm.
Uh-oh.
At 4:40 p.m., not even an hour after the storm popped up, it produced its first 2 tornadoes. 2 very weak EF0s north of
Okay,
Lawton. Within a couple of
That ain't,
minutes.
hey, that ain't bad. That ain't bad. We chilling right now.
Storm began to get larger. and
Oh,
rotate
wait a minute,
faster,
that's
and soon,
bigger.
The third tornado of the storm
Oh, boy.
would strike. And the first significant one, the F3 tornado near Stecker, Oklahoma, completely destroyed a single home before disappearing.
Dang.
This trend was
F3.
becoming very concerning. As with every
F3.
new tornado, the damage was getting stronger. A couple minutes later, another strong F3 would touch down near Chickasha. Val and Amy
Chickasha?
Castor, storm chasers for the Channel News
What a
9,
name.
would capture it.
Uh-oh. Shout out to the storm chasers.
Debris flying through the air. Visual of it. It's only
Man,
about
bro.
a half a mile down the road from us. It is definitely a wedge. I mean, based on visual, it's at least an F3. It's at least an F3, Gary. We've got debris hitting us at the side of the truck from the west wind.
That's crazy how far the
The
debris
tornado began
flies.
to become smaller. A thin satellite tornado was captured orbiting the main circulation.
And this,
Yeah, 2 tornadoes, huh?
and that one is getting bigger. The main one is getting bigger too, much bigger.
Just a few minutes later, another storm chaser, Oliver Smith, would capture the tornado, disappearing once again.
Huh.
I mean, not Highway 81, but the Bailey Turnpike. We're just looking at it. It's packed with cars coming.
About to rope out.
I don't know where this is going to cross over. Be very.
But of course, just as the F3 dissipates, the storm spins up a new area of rotation.
Oh.
This time, it was quite disorganized. A thin, wispy F2 over the Chickasha, Oklahoma airport. Despite being relatively
Again, Chickasha? What a name.
weak, it was able to damage multiple of the buildings on the property before again lifting. Something different was observed.
Hey, this storm is crazy already, though. Like, this storm system just keeps dropping tornadoes and picking them up. And yeah, nah, that's wild. Nah.
From this F2, however, as although quite thin, the core of the vortex began digging up swaths of the top layer of soil, a process known as ground scouring, only seen in some of the strongest tornadoes. If a thin and wispy tornado from the storm could produce this level of damage, what an established and long-lived tornado could do is scary to think about. Unfortunately, the residents of central Oklahoma would get the answer to this question. Stretching out from Oklahoma City lies Interstate 44. Along the interstate are multiple overpasses that connect the road to other communities. Communities such as Amber and Bridge Creek, Oklahoma. Near an overpass east of Amber, storm chaser Mike Duncan and his colleagues are sitting. They are getting footage for the news station KFOR. The same news station thousands are now tuning into as an apparent tornado outbreak is beginning. As the storm's base comes into their view, they notice something. Broad rotation encompasses the clouds, almost like the entire storm is trying to spin. Mike begins to film what he's seeing.
Oh no. Oh no.
Cloudy tentacles of dust begin to swirl sporadically under the clouds before a thin funnel takes over. It's not long before the funnel lifts up, but as Mike zooms out, something terrifying is seen. Dust is swirling underneath the entire cloud, as if the circulation is the entire cloud.
Oh shit, that whole thing's a tornado.
The rotation gets stronger. As it becomes clear, something is very different about this tornado. The new tornado's track is already incredibly wide as it begins east of Amber. It strengthens slightly as trees are ripped up and small farm buildings are destroyed. David Payne is chasing for the news station KOCO as he and his partner drive down the interstate. They notice a sudden change in the tornado's look.
Near Amber. The ground again, and what you're looking at there is a violent, rapidly rotating tornado. Estimated width there about an eighth to maybe a quarter of a mile wide, and again winds in there.
Yo, that shit just grew while they've been recording.
We have winds flowing into the tornado right now at about that.
Within just a couple of seconds, the wispy tendrils conglomerate into a massive and violent wedge tornado.
Oh, damn.
At the same time, the tornado begins to strengthen rapidly. Ground scouring appears once again as the grass is dug away in a swirling pattern underneath the tornado. Except this time, it's not in the middle of fields. It approaches its first target, a small subdivision of homes along Dewey Edwards Drive. As it approaches, houses not even in the core are damaged, and as it crosses over the road, 4 homes are leveled to the ground. Their debris is thrown into a tree line to their east, which is mangled and shredded. Within just a few minutes, the tornado had become incredibly violent. Mike Duncan is still filming. He watches as the wedge tornado morphs in shape while quickly rotating. Soon, another shift in the tornado's appearance occurs.
It's got bigger again? Yo, that junk is huge now.
Within just a couple of seconds, the tornado falls apart before coming back even stronger. Past the subdivision,
that junk didn't look like it ever fell apart. It just looked like it got bigger.
It's now heading directly for the community of Bridge Creek, Oklahoma.
Oh,
the
Bridge
monster
Creek,
now
no.
most likely has some of the strongest winds conceivable on Earth. The tornado has no intentions of lifting as it crosses through multiple fields, beelining straight for the first road of Bridge Creek, County Road 2948. As it crosses, the forward speed of the tornado begins to slow down slightly, allowing the tornado to slowly crawl over the neighborhoods. Within just a few minutes, the area would be scrubbed off the earth. Trees in the core of the tornado were ripped out of their root systems and tossed. Unfortunately, this area of Bridge Creek was very poor, and almost every single structure impacted was a mobile home, making it even easier for the tornado to wipe everything away. The rest of the southwest side of Bridge Creek felt the same destruction. The tornado carved into the earth as it expanded to almost an entire mile wide. One of the homes destroyed was the Crago family home. In the destruction, Catherine Crago was killed. Her daughter, Amy, survived though, and Amy's 11-month-old baby was tossed into a field and caked in mud. The moment an officer discovered her was captured on camera.
The baby lived after getting tossed? Oh, that baby had a God on its side. Oh, I'm so glad the baby made it though. It sucks that the mama died.
It exited the first neighborhood of Bridge Creek, crossing through fields and slowly crawling towards its
Damn,
next
bro.
neighborhood, a subdivision along Red Rock Road. The damage here was almost insurmountable. The tough red clay that covered the area was completely dug up. Every single home in the neighborhood was swept cleanly away. A large portion of the asphalt road, over an inch thick, was ripped away here as well. Moving to the northeast, more rural subdivisions felt the wrath of the winds. Large homes were continuously swept away, and mobile homes practically disappeared. The most striking damage
the
was not just the
destruction,
homes
bro.
and structures, though. Some of the most extreme vehicle damage
Dude,
ever documented
that
occurred
ain't in
near
the
the
vehicle no
southwest area
more.
of Bridge Creek. One truck had all of its insides gutted before it was wrapped like a blanket around a telephone pole. All the
my
while
God,
being caked
how?
in copious amounts of dirt. Practically no grass remained in the core
Bro,
of the
that thing
tornado,
is strong as
making the
hell if it's
damaged
doing
areas appear more like a drought than a tornado. Tree lines were mangled down to the ground, stripped
Bro,
of their
this tornado done turned this place into a third world country. There ain't nothing. Yo, that tornado strong as
bark
hell.
and sprayed with bits of cars, homes, and buildings, leaving behind piles of unidentifiable shrapnel. Val and Amy Castor are now watching as they parallel the wedge tornado across the interstate.
We're just about to get hit with debris. It's got to be on the turnpike now. There's all kinds.
Continuing, the tornado impacted a large brick home. This home was very well anchored, and as the vortex passed, it was turned into dust. The only thing remaining on the property was a slab swept perfectly clean,
Bro, it doing
and
that to a
small
brick
bushes
home
and
is
trees
crazy.
sandpapered of their bark. These images would depict some of the worst tornado damage ever documented. Continuing
I
through Bridge
believe it.
Creek, home after home and field after field was reduced to nothing. Mike Duncan films as two large vehicles pass him. These vehicles are nicknamed Dow 1 and Dow 2. Dow standing for Doppler on wheels, essentially a Doppler weather radar attached to a moving vehicle. The vehicles allow researchers to get radars incredibly close to storms, which in turn allow them to collect important scientific data, such as wind speeds inside of tornadoes. The Dow trucks are currently scanning the air, and what they see is terrifying. Sustained winds of over 200 miles per hour are being
200 miles per hour. Bro, y'all know how fucking fast that is? Dude, I know some of y'all can't fucking drive. Some of y'all done damn near made it 100 miles per hour. 200? 200?
being logged, some of the strongest readings ever seen inside a tornado. As the tornado exits Bridge Creek, meteorologists begin to realize the severity of the situation. The tornado has shown no sign of stopping and is now beelining straight for the Oklahoma City metro, a massive city with hundreds of thousands of people. With death and damage updates slowly trickling through from Bridge Creek, the potential was realized. Something more dire than a tornado warning had to be issued. At 6:57 p.m., the first ever tornado emergency is issued for the cities of Moore, Oklahoma City, and the surrounding metro. The warning read, "Tornado emergency in South Oklahoma City metro area." At 6:57 p.m. Central Time, a large tornado was moving along Interstate 44 west of Newcastle. On its present path, this large damaging tornado will enter southwest sections of the Oklahoma City metro area between 7:15 and 7:30 p.m. People in Moore and South Oklahoma City should take immediate tornado precautions. This is an extremely dangerous and life-threatening situation. If you are in the path of this large and destructive tornado, take cover immediately. This wording is some of the most frightening ever written in a tornado warning. Mike Duncan and the Dow trucks are still following the vortex along Interstate 44, and notice it becomes increasingly wrapped in rain and debris. The tornado
Oh,
here
dude, that's the worst. Dude, that's the worst. Those rain-wrapped tornadoes, that's terrible, dude. You don't see shit coming at you. All you can do is just hear. Like, what do you see right now? What do y'all see right now? You don't see shit but that big-ass cloud in the sky. You don't see nothing. Terrible.
is
Terrible.
now practically invisible. As it
Terrible.
engulfs more and more dirt, it begins to turn into a murky
can't see shit.
brown.
It's just a
Suddenly,
big storm.
A funnel starts to emerge from the rain. Something strange from within the storm is
Dude, get
occurring.
your ass out the way.
Path
What
begins
y'all
to
doing
shrink
running across
and
the street,
become
man?
more erratic, and as the smaller vortex emerges from the clouds, its violent motion becomes apparent.
Oh, there it is. So this is not sped up, which means that shit's moving fast as hell.
The tornado begins to slow down, almost to the brink of stationary. The Dow trucks point the radar directly towards the funnel, and what they see is mind-blowing. The radar measures wind gusts in excess of 330 miles.
What? What? 330 miles per hour? Yo, that's not, bro, that's not a thing, bro. That's not common. That's not, no, bruh. That's way over F5, bruh.
Miles per hour,
330?
meaning the tornado now has the strongest winds ever measured on planet Earth. Unfortunately, this would occur in the absolute worst spot, as the tornado is now sitting directly over one of the overpasses on Interstate 44. Underneath the overpass, two men, a mother and her son, climb underneath the girders to shelter from the winds. The mother, Kathleen Walton, feels the winds accelerating upon them, and as the metal girders bend and squeal, she shields her son Levi with her body. Kathleen would be sucked from underneath and killed. She was described as a loving mother and generous to a fault. As the rest of the group climbed out, caked in mud, Levi was heard screaming, "Where's my mom?" Kathleen was a single mother and described as all Levi had. This horrific narrative, sadly, was not unique. Dozens of deaths were now coming in from Bridge Creek as well, and the tornado was destroying homes and families, and it had no plans of slowing down. In fact, it looked like the worst was yet to come. Underneath another overpass, another mother and her children, Tammy Holgren, and her two young daughters sat trying to save themselves from the tornado. Miraculously, the sporadic path meandered slightly to their south, sparing them from the same fate as the Waltons. A journalist was also sheltering near them and snapped another incredible image of
That kid lost his mom, dude. It sucks. That sucks, bro. And that being a
tornado leaving the scene. The sporadic nature of the tornado becomes even more apparent as it approaches the north side of Newcastle, Oklahoma. The vortex continues to thin out while still digging up the ground. Storm researcher Tim Marshall records as the vortex turns into a pronounced tube and crosses the road in front of him.
Hey, that's a pretty big fucking tube though. Oh lord.
Turn it to the other way, please. The other way. Think of the camera.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking big for it to be a tube, sir.
It's already past us.
As the storm approaches the Canadian River, another feature appears. A satellite tornado, far from the main one, touches down,
What the hell?
dancing aimlessly in the field.
Well, that's crazy. That's weird.
The strange behavior from the storm could hint that it's getting ready to dissipate, but in reality, it's doing anything but dissipate.
Oh, man.
As it crosses the Canadian River, Tim watches the tornado suddenly and rapidly grow in size.
Yep. Oh boy.
The water and mud it picks up from the river fill up its entire windfield, creating a wall of darkness. Simultaneously, Jim Gardiner, the helicopter operator for K4, ascends his helicopter into the sky, and despite the strong winds and dark conditions, he's determined to broadcast the monster to the people of Oklahoma City. As he finds his bearings and tilts the helicopter towards the south, he sees the monster in its entirety approaching the city.
We're getting a lot of turbulence here.
Oh,
Mike. We're right on
my
the edge.
God.
The winds are just incredible. When we went into Westheimer, there's no power at all. Emergency vehicles running around. There is no power on a southwest side by Oklahoma City Will Rogers World Airport.
At the exact same time as Leroy, reporter Dan Anderson finds an open area off the interstate in the suburbs of Moore in Oklahoma City and begins to film the tornado from inside the metro.
South of Crossroads Mall, you're looking toward the south, and there's
You
a
don't
large
see
tornado
shit but
now
darkness.
moving through.
The people of Oklahoma are now watching the strongest tornado of all time
Oh,
as it
man.
begins to devastate their communities, the first of which was a group of homes on the outskirts of Moore. The tornado never ceases to carve the ground, and it continues to grow in size, crossing the intersection of Drexel Avenue and Southwest 149th Street. Multiple large, well-built homes are cored directly and destroyed. Its path is still rather sporadic, making strange twists and turns as it regains its bearings and widens. A group of homes on Highway 37 are the next target, being directly impacted. Every single home in the neighborhood sustains some level of damage, including a handful that are swept off their foundations. It's almost like the tornado decided to grow massively in size and strength right as it entered the city. Now, with every inch the tornado travels, the areas it impacts will become more and more populated. The tornado
That shit's
meanders
crazy,
through a
dude.
small field, mauling a tree line
I'm
before
just
the
trying
wedge
to pray
begins
for
to
them.
engulf
Like,
the East Lake
This junk
Estates.
this junk already happened, but it's so devastating. I'm like praying, like I'm just like, y'all see me like I'm just like, man, dude, that. You can't like fathom this type of shit. Like, it's okay when the tornado's just in an open field. It don't hit nobody, you good. But like this type of stuff when it's just going towards the city and all you
Rows
think
of
about is thousands of people.
well-constructed homes
Look at this.
are wiped away, in some cases heaving up pipes and plumbing from within the foundation. The scale of the devastation in the neighborhood was mind-boggling.
All these people blessed. I'm guessing this is straight core. Going crazy. All this is core. This down, blessed.
Despite both being in interior rooms inside of bathtubs of well-built homes. 2 people would die in East Lake Estates. As the tornado exited the neighborhood, it brushed the Westmore High School, ripping off portions of the roofing. Several cars were thrown here and mangled beyond recognition. As it leaves the neighborhood, it crosses over Southwestern Avenue. Across the road sits the Emerald Springs apartment complex. Many tornadoes have struggled to fully destroy multi-story apartment buildings due to how large and reinforced they are, but not this tornado. Several 2-story tall structures from within the complex are reduced to their slabs, killing 3 people who attempted to shelter inside. Crossing a tree line to the northeast, a subdivision of newly built townhomes lie. The tornado does not spare these either, again wiping multiple off their foundations. Back in the sky, Jim struggles to capture the entire tornado from his helicopter.
You can't see
but
it.
Power flashes near the base indicate electrical lines and transformers exploding, creating zero doubt that the tornado was consuming the neighborhoods. Past a field, the vortex crosses over North Santa Fe Avenue into more large residential areas of Moore, Oklahoma. Damage still does not falter. Hundreds of homes were destroyed or swept clean away, and the tornado's funnel filled more and more with granulated bits of cars, homes, and dirt. At one home, a
Dude.
safe anchored to the foundation is ripped away and tossed like a toy, and more plumbing is ripped from the ground as distorted cars impact now.
Dude, a safe that was built in, like, the foundation got ripped off. Look at the cars. This is 1999. I want y'all to get perspective on this. This is 1999. Cars were built way better. Like real metal. Not aluminum. Real metal. Not what? Nowadays you telling me what you need a Cybertruck to survive a tornado? What?
Empty foundations. Somehow, the vortex is still going. It approaches the main road of Moore, Interstate 35. Here, Dan Anderson watches as the tornado emerges and he captures one of the most iconic pieces of tornado media ever.
Outages because these storms are moving into the metro area. We're going to
Look
have
at that.
some
That shot. Look at the
interruption
debris. Look at all the debris.
And that's
Look
outside
at all
the
debris
core.
in the air.
It's just floating
Folks,
around.
Please, we plead with you. You absolutely have got to get down. Get to the lowest level you possibly can.
Dude.
We plead with you. Do not take the extra minute or two. We plead with you. Space, please. We plead with you. Go to your safe spot now. Take your radio. Forget the live pictures. Go get safe.
Y'all, it's...
Oh my gosh.
89, South 89.
Look at
Folks,
that.
we plead with you. Just go to your safe spot if you
Mike,
possibly
we
can.
pray-
That's an F. Look at the horizontal vortex. That is an F4 to an F5 tornado. That's
Mike.
winds of 250 miles an hour.
That ain't no F4, my boy. Ain't no F4.
All right, we're asking our crew
Shit ripping safes from foundations. Ain't no F4.
right now to shut down, get out, and get out of there.
I know y'all gotta give it a skill afterwards,
Across
but
the interstate, the neighborhood of Highland Park was enveloped the same as every area previously. At this point, the tornado was full of so much debris that it was more akin to a massive blender than just tornadic winds. This blending allowed
For real?
large trees to be sandpapered once again, leaving them as a skeleton of
dude, the fucking truck's folded on a tree.
bare wood. Cars were perpetually tossed like
You-
toys, and some of the worst vehicle damage occurred here. Near the edge of the neighborhood,
kid smiles.
a
She
very
don't even
large
know what's going
home
on.
was completely swept away, with essentially nothing left. The photo became one of the most iconic tornado damage images, but reports are conflicting on if this was done by the tornado or a rumored house fire before the tornado.
Hmm.
Whatever the case may be, it seems likely this level of damage could have easily been done by the vortex. By this point,
Yeah.
the tornado had traveled over 30 miles straight and had caused consistent, mind-blowing damage to everything it touched. However,
That has
the
been a
worst of
long
the
time.
devastation was possibly just to come, just a couple miles to the northeast.
How long does this shit go?
The projected path was now aiming straight for a large trailer home park. If large brick homes were failing to sustain the winds of the tornado, the death and destruction to a packed
By now, though, these people should have been left. If we're being honest, these people should have been got the hell on. They shouldn't be nobody in that trailer park. I'm gonna be real with you. I hope nobody's still there. I hope nobody's still there, bro.
community of mobile homes would be indescribable. As the tornado continued to approach, a miracle seemed to occur. The path began to slightly curve to the north.
Okay.
However, the new track was now heading potentially towards something worse.
Ooh.
Along Highway 240 to the north, several industrial warehouses and metal buildings were placed. One of the buildings, American Freightways, held dozens of employees, all hunkering down as the tornado approached them. As the winds impacted the area, trucks and metal equipment began to be slammed and tossed violently. Mud splattered against the debris as the ground continued to be dug up. Unfortunately, 2 employees would die in the impact. The
Dang.
tornado continued to the north, curving towards the community of Del Air. Just like every community that came before, the neighborhood was obliterated and 6 people died. To the east sat the Tinker Air Force Base, where hundreds of Air Force residents stayed. In a stroke of luck, the tornado continued to curve to the north, just barely missing the base. After the base, the tornado began to shrink once again, but it also began to weaken slightly. The first time we had
Okay.
seen a substantial weakening since the tornado touched down. It crosses over more industrial buildings, only partially destroying them. As it crosses Interstate 40, a neighborhood to the north of the highway would be the next target, and the destruction remained devastating, killing 3 people. Finally, without any warning, the damage would cease. The tornado had lifted, and the carnage ended with it. Over 36 people would be found deceased,
Dang.
with over 500 significantly injured, making it the deadliest tornado in over 50 years. One survivor was uninjured, but unfortunately died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound in reaction to losing his home. And
Damn. But see, that's what I'm talking about. So, like, let's say he didn't have like tornado insurance. You lost your home. You pretty much lost everything. This man's like, bro, I have nothing now. Man, that's tough, bro. That's... Bro, it's sad enough losing people in the tornado. To find out somebody killed themselves due to a tornado taking shit from them is just... Man. 500 injured, though? 36 dead?
And the tornado. The storm continued to the northeast. It produced a weak and brief F2 tornado before completely fizzling away, as if it had expended all the energy it had into the earth.
On your FM dial on 104.1,
Look at that.
107.7.
It looked like it was fucking war out
Go
there.
ahead, Jim.
Mike,
Yes.
you got to look at this. This is phenomenal. It's gone. The neighborhood is gone. We are over a neighborhood just west of Tinker Air Force Base. It is gone, Mike. I'm just following the swath of where this went. It's probably at least a quarter mile wide.
Oh.
Here, look at this. It's the whole neighborhood, Mike. The whole neighborhood is gone.
Those that are listening
You're
on
looking at
radio, we're looking at damage of what was a neighborhood. Unfortunately, it looks now
It's totally destroyed.
It is. Boy, I'm almost speechless. It's absolutely
It's not a
incredible.
neighborhood
These are
no more.
homes that are no longer homes.
No roofs,
just scattered
no walls.
debris for miles and miles. A dangerous situation.
The tornado outbreak as a whole would be one of the most extreme ever, including an F4 tornado that, despite missing the town of Mulhall, was still wide enough to completely level half of it. May 3rd, 1999 would become one of the most infamous days in tornado history and would seal central Oklahoma as a tornado hotspot. Thank you for watching.
Hey, man. Bro, these tornadoes, dude, they're relentless. Like I said, hey, Mother Nature do not care. That junk just spawned out the blue, and then next thing you know, boom. Shit was big as hell. Then the junk got rain wrapped. The junk got all this debris. You couldn't even see nothing at some points. Man, just imagine seeing like a wall of darkness coming at you. You don't know what the fuck going on. You just see like, oh, look, it's a dark... Hey, why is it storming? Oh, shit. Next thing you know, you just hear the fucking neighborhood get shredded. Man. Dude, and that dude killing himself because he lost his house, bruh. Man. We done watched both of these, but... We're gonna come back to some more tornado videos, but man... Might have to refresh my head, man. That's because these tornadoes, bro, they take a toll. Like, it's like, man, you just feel bad. Like, and I feel like everybody sees it. Like, when they sense it, like, or they see stuff like this, they're like, it's a sense of helplessness. Like, you can't do nothing. What you gonna do? You gotta let the storm pass. You can't stop a storm. It's like, man, 300. That junk said 330 miles per hour. Bro, ain't no way. Ain't no way. But hey, man, that's it with the video, man. Like, share, comment, subscribe to your boy. Check out Tornado TRX, man. He the man with the videos. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the link will be in the description below. It's your boy J-Osh, the one J-Osh. And I'm out.